Welcome to Kronos Wears Pink. We are stepping out of the noise and into the depth. I am here to hold the mirror to your shadow so you can see the path to your light. Let's begin the audit. Now, this message is for Leo. Leo, we're doing a Shadow to Light series. We're going to look at the anchor where you're having leakage and blockages. Next, we're going to shift the call to action, the bridge for your shadow work. Okay, this is where you get to use that internal alchemy. And then the sovereign, right? How do you tap into that higher frequency for a better result, which is reclaiming your power? Okay, now traditionally, Leo, and I'm looking here at my nose, one of the shadow things that you have here is seeking external validation to fuel the fire from the fire horse's heat. Now, as you know, Kronos Wears Pink is the deep dive into the shadow work from Eureka Elementals, which is my main channel. And for you, it's about radiating from within, right? Leading by example without the need for an applause, okay? So you already you've got that soul glow. You've got that glow. So you've got the glow. You already have the soul glow. So we're going to tap in to see what's happening currently with your shadows. Okay, what's the leading shadow with you right now? That's a historical oversight. Okay, also in the year of the fire horse, that's the pivotal energy. Okay, now let's see. We're gonna get granular. Okay, the cards have already been shuffled. The energies have already been cleared. Let's tap on in. Okay, now what's the primary shadow that's affecting my Leos right now? Okay. Ooh. Harpy. Okay. A creature of many guises, right? In storms I soar amidst virtues and vices, a reflection of life's score. Harpy energy. Okay. So you are going to be that person who mirrors society's ugliness to them. Okay. This is the path of shadows that you choose. Okay. It's, I don't know if anybody here watches or used to watch the original Avatar series, and I'm talking about Avatar Aang on Nickelodeon back in the early 2000s. Okay. My son was born then, and it was just one of those things. He loved the Avatar series, and this is the cartoon version, not the live action series versions. But when he had the faces, he had to face the faces. It went deep within his subconscious, and every fear that he had the face. It had a face attached to it. That's the energy that I'm talking about here. This is what came to mind. This kind of harpy energies, a creature of many guises, change face, change face, change face. And so that's the energy that you're rolling with at this time, Leo. Okay, that includes even being a vampire. In the night of embrace, where this desire ignite, my hunger keeps consuming, all in sight. Whatever this eerie graveyard here at the foundation, whatever vices, and that's the kind of energy that the harpy has here, amidst virtues and vices. Whatever their vice, you're gonna give it to them so that you can be center stage. Okay, now I'm hearing, is this right for the Aquarian age? And that is the pivot that's here for you. So let's see. What does my Leos need to do to address this harpy energy? Find wholeness. Bam. Find wholeness. Look within. You don't have to be the vixen for everybody in order to be this at center stage. Find wholeness. Love yourself just the way I'm hearing, just the way you are. Bring together fragments that complete you. Acceptance, inner peace. Now, what I'm also hearing is that every time you show up in an energy other than yourself, Every time you had to put on a different face, to be another vixen, to tap into another vice, it shaved off a fractal of who you are on the inside. So the problem that you have now is that you're looking in the mirror and you don't recognize yourself. You're like, my God, I don't even know me. Who the hell am I really? What makes me think? What is it about me that I truly love being? Again, we're going back to finding wholeness, loving yourself just the way you are. So looking inward helps you to see what to improve, to make better choices. And so you're going to have to learn to pivot and understand. You have a lot of shame and guilt about some of the stuff that you've done. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect, okay? Find wholeness within. There are jumble thoughts as well. You've got a lot of jumble thoughts. The mind can make a heaven or hell, or a hell out of heaven. Confusion, anxiety, escape. You know, the thing about it is that you, in this dance of shadows and light, you decided to be every vixen in sight. You know, the center stage is what called you, you know, having that limelight, right? Being in that energy, okay? But Spirit is trying to tell you, you don't have to do that. Look at what you do when you radiate from within. You glow naturally. You don't have to show up in this energy of this vixen in order to get the same amount of shine. You shine naturally. This is what Spirit's trying to tell you. Okay, this vixen, this harpy, this seductress energy, it's not necessary. Okay, and I'm saying this male or female, tarot is genderless, but it is that kind of, you know, vamp energy. Okay, now, what's the result if Leo reclaims their power and is able to find wholeness? Okay. You have two that came out. Look at that. Ooh, nice. Okay. The first one that came out is the essence of equinox. Absorb the essence of the equinox, finding balance between light and dark within. And that is exactly what this is. One of the biggest things that we want to do in this channel is to really tap into the shadows. People are afraid of their shadows, but the shadows is truly the path to your greatest asset. What you fear most, or what you lean in. If you're all shadow, that's not cool, but the balance is the sweet spot. The balance is where you turn into pure star status. You don't have to push, you just have to be. Okay, and that is the kind of energy. So absorbing the essence. So something may happen during the equinox, right? And that's going to be up in the summer. So during the summer months, something's going to be pivotal for you. Okay, and summer solstice says winter equinox, winter and spring. So the spring, summer, fall. So during the equinox period, you may find something. Also the moonlit meadows. Wander through moonlit meadows where the gentle touch of the moonbeams offers serenity. Is this something about finding the light within? You know, the universe is within you. The luminaries, you may want to see what's happening with equinoxes, the moonlight phases. There's something here with the luminaries. You're to work with the luminaries. They will guide you as to when to act and what to do. Okay, working with the luminary energies is going to be pivotal for you to remember to I'm hearing to find your light. Okay, so maybe they're going to help you with those fractals that we talked about, right? Finding the light that every time you had to tap into that harpy energy and become another character, become another face, become another energy, become another vice, you gave away some of your light. So the sun and the moon are going to be pivotal energies for you to tap into. Summer solstice, you know, also working and laying low during eclipses. Okay, most people do not recommend doing any kind of spiritual work during eclipses. It's just a time to kind of be in the energy, but you're going to learn to and have to work with the sun and the moon, the frequencies and the energies, to do a lot of your work, then to call back a lot of your energy, to call back and do a lot of soul fragment work, okay, to reclaim who you are and what you have going on too. Because magma is it, well, we were all taught that magma is at the core of the earth, and I put taught in parentheses, right? So sink into the meditation like magma, tapping into the inner warmth and power within. And that is all what it is, this tapping into the sun within you, your inner light, finding your light again. And I'm hearing, to thine own self be true. Okay, so there is this need for you to find your own authentic light, as opposed to pivoting and tapping into, or even like when you have a kaleidoscope and you're looking through things, and whenever you look at things, it just pivots in different light. You've allowed that to happen to yourself, so now your light is so scattered, you don't know your own authentic light. So this is truly an ability for you to find your own light. So let's see what the Tower has to say. Give us some clarifiers here for Leo on Harpy. Okay, tapping into all of those vices. Ooh, I gotta listen. The first thing that came out is giving you a lot of anxiety. Okay, putting you in a mental imprisonment. What I'm seeing here is someone who's almost, it's fragmented your mind so much. You might have been, I'm not a doctor, you know, but you might have been diagnosed with some kind of psychological psychosis, bipolar, schizophrenia, because you don't know who you are. Again, going back to wholeness on the inside. So you're going to have to do a lot of deep shadow work to, again, reclaim your authentic energy, call back all of your power from all time, space, places, and timelines and dimensions too. And also work with the luminaries. I call back all of my power. I call back all of my light. Whoever I may have given my energy to, you know, I call back all of this to me in wholeness and in true authenticity. Keep saying these things to yourself, because you've got so, your mind is so fragmented, you have no peace. You cannot sleep well at night. And so Spirit is telling you, okay, because sun, self-reflect, okay? Shine a light on it. Shine a light on it. Okay. Once you do, you're gonna reclaim you. You're gonna recapture that happiness, that youth, that quintessential essence of you. Your inner child is gonna be so proud of you, so happy that you remembered who you are on the inside too. So this is a time for you to pivot so that you can what? Find that wholeness. So shine a light on this situation. Gemini may be highly aspected in your chart as well too. But the sun, again, the sun came out. What did I say? You're going to have to work sun. The sun symbol with the luminaries. The luminaries, okay? That's the sun and the moon. Okay, you're going to have to work with the luminaries to capture. Because what you've been doing is you're tired. You've been fighting and battling your entire life. You've just been battered. 9-9. Look at this. We have 9199 here. 9199 may be of importance to you. So you've got to find wholeness after years of betrayal. You betrayed yourself because you've lost the sense of who you are too. So Spirit's telling you, meditate. I know you're disappointed. I know you think there's no hope, but there's always hope. I'm here. I'm giving you a big cup. Okay, I'm a cup of love, a cup of hope. There is going to be an end to this, right? I'm hearing all is not lost. Okay, give me something on this finding wholeness after a season of being in the Nine of Wands. Finding wholeness after heartbreak. Okay, finding wholeness after you think there's nothing left. You've bled out. Okay, you've had so much suffering and grief because you just, This is the bottom. You hit rock bottom. Okay? But Spirit's saying there's still light. Again, the sun energy here, the equinox energy. Find out when the next equinox is. I think it's going to be a very pivotal point for you to help you get over, okay, and reclaim your throne. To look at this as I pick up the decks, the King and Queen of Wands. Okay, you have a passion that is bursting through. Your divine masculine and your divine feminine want to come to your rescue at this point too. But you have to do the inner work. You have to do the inner work. Okay? You're going to have to do the inner work, which means what? Being ready to walk away from what no longer serves you. So the moonlit meadows are telling you, wander through. Work with the luminaries. When you do, you're going to find, right, that you're going to find the serenity. You're going to find your power. You're going to reclaim your power. But what does that require of you? Okay? Walking away from what no longer serves you so you can get back into this full energy to have a brand new start. This may mean, okay, for a while, things may be a little rough. Things may be a little rough because you're so used to tapping into that Leo, tapping into that Vixen energy, that Vice energy, that Vamp energy where you fed off of other people. The script's gonna flip. You're gonna be the one on the outside. But Spirit's saying it's okay, right? You've got to pay back that karma. You've got to pay back that karma. The wheel has to be balanced. The wheel must be balanced, okay? So you're gonna have the ability to have a restart. It's not going to be easy. I'm gonna repeat, it's not gonna be easy, but it's gonna be necessary. You're gonna have to walk away from this past energy where you wore those faces. You gave people what they needed, but in the middle of all of this, it's almost like, I'm gonna call it, like a syndrome when you see where people, we've all watched movies where, someone perhaps is a professional, a lady of the night or whatever, and you just give people whatever they want, but at the core of it, no one understands them. It's just a job, and something that should have been a loving exchange, and it's a sacred exchange of energy, ends up not being sacred. It ends up being tainted, and every time you give away a fractal of yourself, there's just a shell of a human being left behind. It's a lot of that here. It's a lot of that here. That's what I'm feeling. Okay. But you're going to have victory. At the very foundation is victory, but you've got to do the inner work. Now let's see what your inner child has to say to you. Your inner child is the one that knows you better than anyone else. So what is the Leo's inner child has to say to them at this point? You're healing. Look at, man, I can't make it up. Look at that, healing. Okay? Allow yourself to heal from past wounds. Time to nurture your soul. I could not have said it better myself. The fact that you feel as though you have to be a character in order to be loved and never be true to your authentic self. You wore whatever face, whatever mask. You didn't even know who you are. Your inner child was like, I'm light, and this is not who we are, okay? And so there's this need for you to pull back so that you can get back to what you're light, which is that Queen of Wands energy. You're light, okay? Beautiful light, that internal fire, right? Remember who you are. Remember who you are. And they want you to. You're the Queen of Wands or the King of Wands. Forgive yourself. You're being told to forgive yourself. Okay? Let go of the grudges. Forgiveness heals the soul. And find, oh my God, your inner child is speaking. And find that joy again. Find that joy. Do you all remember how much you liked as a child? Listen, playing with balloons? Man, I'll never forget. I threw my son, when he turned one, I had this big birthday party, so much toys, And he just had more fun playing with the balloons than anything else. Now, he liked the regular rubber balloons, but not the Mylar. The Mylar at that age scared him. It was the weirdest thing. So, go back, forgive yourself, find some joy, okay? And that will allow you to unify, have this unity of the divine masculine, divine feminine within you. The unity, again, of the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands within you. Look at that. There is a unity of the soul that's begging to occur here. Begging to occur. Okay? And look at that, the timer just went off for the food in the oven. It's begging to occur. So at this point, we're going to see what your higher self has to say to you. What is the message from Leo's higher self to them? Okay. I see the eternal now, but I also see Destiny's dance. So we're going to see what they both say to you. And I think it was the eternal now that turned, but I couldn't tell. The eternal now. Experience life fully in the now. It is the only true reality. Forgive yourself, and I'm going to stick with that one. Forgive yourself from the past. Okay? Forgive yourself from all of this, the jumble thoughts, the fact that you feel you had to show up in faces and energies that were not the authentic you. Forgive yourself for allowing these fractals to occur within your soul too. Tap into the eternal now, right? And that means this year working on every day, work on reclaiming the fractals of yourself too. So now, my dear Leo, we've identified the leakage, okay? We've also identified what you need to do to shift, finding that wholeness, the self-reflection, working with the luminaries. That is how you get back to your sovereignty of your energy, the King or Queen of Wands, where you now have this inner healing, this forgiveness, and this joy, and you're living in the eternal now. Secure this frequency and remain sovereign. Until next time.